pretty fantastic fight overall. What's the feel for you right now as you sit there? I was like, how rewarding is this, and just what's the feel overall?
Feels great, man. I wanted to finish the fight, like I was saying before, but no, it was a very, very, very solid performance, and my boxing was superior. Like I said, I had a lot of advantages. His kicks were strong. They were definitely strong. They were wearing on my forearms, but overall the boxing was a no-brainer. And no, man, it was a very solid performance. And and I'm glad I didn't let go all that tension before the fight, thinking that he's not ready, he didn't train, he came in fat, like he's not taking this seriously, because he actually did, and it was a trap a little bit, I think. Or he was willing to scratch the fight, that's for sure, but he was ready also.
This fight week, we talked to you on Wednesday, and you're like, dude, I'll fight him at heavyweight. I don't care. But
yeah.
And I know you believe that, and I know you mean that. But was there anybody in your camp talking to you saying, hey, come on, man, don't do this. This is not a smart decision?
No, because they know me. They know me. They're like, how am I going to tell this guy to get out of a fight? They know they can't. And I know they would have done it for my good, maybe. That's, behind their thoughts and behind their words, that would have been good. But they know me well enough that it was not even a question,
Yeah. We know from talking to Dana and talking to him, he was somewhere between 220 and 225 tonight. I guess, how big did that feel there? Was the power even more than you expected? And was there any point where you thought, I may have made a mistake here?
He was big. I clinched him at one time, and I'm like, how big is his fucking torso and lats? I can't even get around. Like, I'm like, shoot, like, it's big. It is big. But, but like I said, like, MMA and this sport, it's my sport. Like, I'm able to deal with anybody. Being a middleweight, which, middleweight we're pretty big in boxing. We wouldn't be middleweight. We would be almost cruiserweight. In between middleweights and cruiserweight. But I don't care about the weight. Like, I'm able to deal with anybody. And the cage is my house. Like, this is my sport. I don't care how much overweight you come in. When I'm ready, I'm gonna take the fight. With that being said, don't fucking show up overweight. My next opponent, to everybody, don't fucking show up overweight just because I'm gonna take the fight, because I'm still gonna beat you. But like, yeah, the way was never like a way for me to get out of the fight.
He had a great round in the 5th round. Was that shocking to you? Because normally we think, hey, he's not going to have energy, he's going to trouble. Was that a tough round for you, and what was going through your head in round 5?
Yeah, this fucking game is a psychological game. I did a little bit of mistake, I guess. Like, like, I knew I had the fight, and it was a little bit of a mistake for sure. I let him a little bit get too comfortable in there, and that's it, really. But yeah, I had good moments, 3rd and 4th, and then he knew he was behind, and he came strong on the 5th. With that being said, I still controlled. There was never like any like crazy occasion. I knew like I knew I had the advantage on the tank in terms of cardio. So he will come with a blurry, and then it will slow down, and I'll come back, and that's what I did. I keep like part of the gameplay was to break his momentum every time. Like, he comes in, boom, you tag him, boom, you tag him, boom, you tag, and that's what I did. Like, with that jab, I always broke his rhythm all the time. Like, I broke his momentum every time, and that's what I did even in the 5th round. Like, he tried to came in, like he let his hands go, and then boom, I tag him, and then he has to reset. But yeah, man. Yeah, he was big. I think if it wasn't that big, I could have finished him in the 3rd on the 4th. But it's crazy, because even if he was that big, even he fought the way he fought until now, he was going backwards in me. I was putting the pressure on him, and with that being said, it was still hard to hurt him. He was solid. It was a great fight. It was a hell of a fight, and he came ready.
With the way things played out this entire fight week, and I'm going to imagine it's even more so after this fight, but I've never seen more public support for you than I saw this week. I got to wonder, did you get to enjoy any of that? Was it nice maybe being the good guy for once and having everybody on your side this week?
That I was hearing it from my coaches and stuff, because I shut everything off, to be honest. I I'm big on like shutting off all the social media at least 5 days prior to the fight. So yeah, good. But the way they switch from the bad to the good really fast, they can switch again from the good to the bad. So it is what it is. But yeah, for sure. I mean, he's good. He's good. I'm gonna open my Instagram right now and see what's going on. But it's great. I'm definitely. One thing that I learned after my last fight is that I have to be focused on myself, and that's what I'm gonna try to do. Like you can't let others tell you how you should feel and how like you should do things. Sometimes it's good to hear opinions, but at the same time, it's good to have confidence on your own opinions and on your own way of dealing with things.
Yeah. Last thing for me, I know you're gonna want to soak this up, man. It was an amazing win. Do you have an idea what you want to do at this point? I mean, do you sit around and wait for the title fight to happen and see how it plays out, or do you go book another fight before the end of the year? I mean, what do you think the move is from here?
We'll see. I mean, whatever that makes sense, I'm ready to go, and I don't think I'm gonna fight before the end of the year. But sometimes, like I get. It's easy to trick me into good fights, especially if they're good. Not into bad fights anymore, but into good fights for sure. Like they'll be like, you want to fight? I don't know, whatever. Who knows? Maybe February, like somebody like gets injured, and like who knows? I'm one thing about me. I'll stay ready. I'll go back into the gym and train, and I'll show up ready and put on a hell of a show for all the fans. And you can count on me as a fan. You can count on me. And like for me, like to show up and to put on a great show.
Marvin, was his size a bigger factor in grappling or in the striking?
No, he was more. I mean, it was a factor on the striking more than on the grappling wasn't really like a problem. Actually, when he had like that head and arm, and I mean, Hummel is not here anymore. He's my jiu-jitsu coach. They know like for guillotines I don't tap. So he's like, I was like, go for it, fucking please go for it, because I know I was gonna get the sweep for sure. And he went. I kind of let it out. I stayed there. I'm like, yeah, find your time to go for it, because I know that was gonna be a sweep, and he did. And then I ended up on top. So in the grappling, I'm really confident, especially when it comes down to like putting me in real danger. Like you'll never see. Like I mean, you never saw me in real danger in the grappling. So now not in the grappling at all. More so in the power of the shots, and more so I feel like more the weight, more is hard to hurt somebody too. That I think, because I was throwing some bombs at him too, and he's like just taking them, and I kept throwing them, but he kept taking them.
Do you feel your chin now went to another level? People respecting you for the chin you show, because this is a guy that was basically a heavyweight in there, and he's hitting you on the chin, and you never even wobbled.
I have a good chin, man, and I think like chin, it's mental too. It's like it's willpower. It's like when unless it's flush, like if you don't want to get out of the fight and you want to stay in the fight, you'll get through the chaotic moment of that shot. So I think it's that, and then but that was a good shot for sure. The high kick was good.
And the other thing, I know fighters see the fights differently, maybe the judges or the fans or the media, but he, after the fight, said he thought he won the fight. And did he express that to you in the cage? And I'm curious, when the decision was announced, did you have any doubt? Like, did you believe guaranteed you're going to win this, or is there any doubt as you're standing there waiting for Joe to announce it?
No, I knew I edged definitely clean 3 rounds. Third and fourth and first was definitely, I think that was a no-brainer. The second, second was, he had that good shot, but overall I kept tagging him too. So, no, I think I had the fight. Significant strike talks for himself, and he had that momentum when he caught me with that kick, but overall, and then the fifth round, but like the fifth round, again, yeah, it's a 10-9 for him, but nah, I knew I had to fight. And then again, they said 48, 46. And when they said 46, I knew for a fact, because like there was a point deduction, and I'm like, nah, then it's my fight for sure.
Hey, Marvin. A lot's been said about how big Paulo was, but I'm curious, how did you feel fighting at 205?
I mean, it's just it's like the whole week felt kind of weird because, I mean, I get up to like 207, 208 even when I cut weight, but it's a little bit of a different weight because you like now I had like 3-4 days to build that weight that I lost again. So it's a little bit more of real weight. When you do the real weight get down to 186, 185, then it's more of like water, like it's a little more like water retention and so I mean the weight difference is, I mean, it wasn't massive. It's just I mean I spar 205ers all the time. I spar 205ers almost more than 185ers sometimes. So I feel good, man. I know, like I said, weight to me don't matter that much.
He had a point taken away from him in the second round. Were you happy to see that? You think that's a good point of deduction?
It was a hard eye poke. It was hard eye poke. Like I was blurred for a good. Even I started the fight again because I saw him fading, and I'm like, fuck, I prefer because I wanted to finish this guy. So I'm like, I'm gonna fight with like a little bit of a messed up vision, but I'm gonna push the pace again. But it was a hard eye poke. And I mean, it happened so many times to me. It's just crazy. Like with me, like weird shit becomes normal now. Like every time. Like I think in my last 3-4 fights, there was always like either like a ground shot or like an eye poke. Almost in every other fight. I mean, Adesanya is pretty professional on how he shows up. He's a champion. He better be. But yeah, I mean, other than that, then. You know, everybody, like, we all know what the shit that happened with my fights. But yeah, so I was happy, yeah, because, I mean, they shouldn't do that. I never do it. You never saw me doing it. It's just, I feel like a lot of times it's like, it's the way you train. It's like, if you don't give a fuck about, like, putting out your hands like that, it might not happen, but it might happen. And if it does happen, it's your fault.
He was out here and he said the reason why he came in so heavy was because he had a bicep injury and it had to stop him training for a couple of weeks. Do you believe that, having fought him for 5 rounds? Or do you think that maybe he was kind of pretending he was heavy and injured? Or what do you think about his weight?
Fucking hell, can't you run if you have a bicep tear? I mean, to make weight? What is that? What's that excuse? Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
So not believing that, no? I know.
I mean, no.
Okay.
Like you can do pretty much everything with a bicep tear anyway. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to do anything with the way. You can say, oh, you could have said something like, oh, I couldn't throw my right hand because of my bicep tear, but no, I couldn't make weight for a bicep tear.
Okay. Last thing for me, and I think I might know the answer to this. You guys just had a great fight, but do you respect him after all this stuff, after all the stuff he put you through this week?
He's full of shit, to be honest. I don't like how he carried himself. I don't like. Nah. I mean, if I see him right now, I probably won't jump him, but I won't even. I won't even share a glass of nothing. Like, fuck it. Like, you go your fucking way, I go my own way. You fucking lost. You're gonna give me 30% of your purse and go run, fat ass.
Paulo was just out here and he said he does not owe you an apology. Do you feel like you are owed an apology from him?
I don't give a fuck. He's giving me 30% of his purse. I'm gonna buy another watch with his money.
So Dana also mentioned that it was 20%. Are you sure it's 30%?
He's a crybaby. He should have been 50 for 20 pounds. It's like 20, whatever, 20. He's not making that much money anyway.
Leading up to this, you went to the catch weight, and then it was like, let's push it up to 204. What was the negotiations like leading up to this? And did you request more as each request was made of you?
Ali, my manager, was pissed, man. He's like, fuck it. Like, this guy's playing games and they don't like when you play games. It's bullshit. So he was like, oh, I can't do it. But he already knew because Ali, he was telling me, like, this guy's going to try to push it to 205. Then they said, basically, actually, so there was a lot of talk, 195, 198. Because I wanted him to cut some kind of weight. And then they said we signed a contract at 198 for 195. For 195 we signed a contract. Then I don't know. Did we sign that one for 198? I'm not sure. But there was a talk about 198. Then they sent the 205 contract, and we said yes to the 205.
What's going on in your head when it just keeps getting pushed back and pushed back?
Like I said, I in my head, it was like, well, this guy wants out of the fight because he's not ready. But then my rational mind was saying, you can't think that way because it can be all that fucking trap. For what I know, I mean, I can definitely see that he's willing to scratch the fight because I don't think that many fighters would have taken this higher on weight. But at the same time, if I do accept, I'm all in. I can't expect him not to be ready. So it was weird on my side too because I had to stay completely focused, even on him making all this shit where it kind of looked like he wasn't ready. Like I had people all the time telling me he's not ready. He wants out of the fight. He doesn't want to be here. I mean, you saw the performance. He came game. Like he wasn't out of shape or nothing.
A lot of people thought that you should have got more than 20%. Did you negotiate for more when he said, let's bump it to 204?
Listen, he was on, they told me, because I said I'm not on social media, but they were telling me that he was making videos talking Brazilians, Portuguese, saying that we were trying to get out of the fight because we were making problems with weights. And the thing is, like, he was playing this kind of game with the purse too, because it's like, oh, if you take too much of my purse, then I'm out of the fight. So he wanted to fight at a higher weight with me not taking that much of the purse too. That's how fucking crazy it was. It's like, yeah, like if you take too much of my purse, I'm out. If you don't accept the fight at this way, I'm out. So I pretty much accepted everything for this fight to make it happen.
So you didn't get anything more when they...
I don't care, man. He's not making that much money. I'm walking away with a good purse tonight.
And leading up, you kept going up as minus 180, which meant you were quite a big favorite in the fight. Did you feel that? Did you feel like you had that mental edge?
I think I had it all the time. I think I had it all the time. Yeah, for sure. I kept saying it. I'm the superior striker. I'm the superior boxer. I tagged him with so much shit. Like I landed 175 strikes, I think, on him.
But you, at no point you were really thinking of, I won't fight this guy, whatever it takes.
Nah, that's what goes through my mind. I'm like, I'm not gonna waste all my preparation because of some shit. I'd rather go out on my own. Like I was saying to the referee, like, let me go the fuck out if anything happens in there. Don't step in, nothing. Like that's how I see. Like, don't, like when I'm ready, I need to test myself. It's about that. Thank you so much.